Hello there, this is Dr. Jai Matani once again with our 52 reflections on embracing a bipolar world with grace. Welcome. Especially for those joining us for the first time, and a quick recap for us all, allow me a few moments of review. I am a bipolar survivor. With bipolar lenses, I see everything happening in this world with bipolarity, which often causes so many disagreements, wars, fightings, biases, name-calling, assessing each other judgmentally. So I have developed for myself and am sharing with you the PRC way to embrace grace. P for pause, R for reflect, and C for connect. Today, I pause to consider how we can make judgments, because we all do, without being judgmental. Making and expressing what we believe about something to be true or false, wise or beneficial, yet without being judgmental of those who disagree with us, by refusing to listen, by cutting them off, by cutting and pasting instead of reading things in context, and making harsh and condescending judgments. I am right, so they must be wrong. Really? As I said, of course, we all make judgments every day. I need to judge, discern, and decide in my mind what I feel is best for me, what is unhealthy for me. And if I have children at home, of course, what I would allow or disallow under my own roof. I have to decide who my friends are and who, with their negative habits, might influence me in a bad way, so that I am tempted to develop those habits that will lead me into trouble or make me have a disastrous future. I have to decide who are my good friends who will be a blessing to me and who I can work with and who I can spend time with to grow together. I have to decide which political party to support and not support, whether I will take this or that safety measure in my life, whether I say or not say certain things on these vlogs too. I have to make those decisions and judgments. And you, my friend, are free to use your judgment whether to continue listening or shut me up simply by clicking that button, because I can't not forgive you because I won't even know. You can even give public feedback, negative or positive. But, and yes, this is the big, vehement, loud and clear message I would like to send out there. You do not get to be nor need to be judgmental. We believe what is right and wrong, we teach our children so, and we share with our friends our views. No problem with that. But we must be careful, oh so careful, not to speak disparagingly of others. We can strongly disagree, yes. We can even point to error and warn, yes. But all this unkind, abusive, ungracious condemnations need to go. Otherwise, we ourselves will be a breeding ground for what is called Phariseeism. We are snobbish against others. We teach our children and our friends to do the same. Now, I want to make clear that I am not saying we simply compromise with everything. Rather, I am saying that each one of us can stick to our convictions strictly and yet do not condemn and speak disrespectfully of each other. My theme is grace, how to embrace with grace a bipolar world. Especially those of us who believe in the grace of God. We need to practice and express that grace to our neighbors, or else we betray our own convictions regarding God's grace. Bipolarities, there will always be, whether you are bipolar or not. Agreements, disagreements, but how gracefully and graciously we deal with them is the question. You say from your vantage point that there are those who are racist, for example, or who do not treat those with alternate lifestyles as human beings, or those who are in error doctrinally. Okay, that's okay. We all have the right to make judgments. I have to judge whether it's wise for me every day, whether to, for example, drive in the snow or not. I have to decide whether to go to a certain noisy restaurant or not. That's my prerogative, is it not? I can even judge what I believe to be the truth and what is the lie. But here comes the problem. I start judging others who are different from me, different from what I believe God reveals, or what my church believes in, and then I start speaking angrily against them? Is that proper? That's not grace. Are we not doing exactly the same thing that we condemn them for doing? They judge you, and now you judge them back. They are ungracious, and that gives you a right also to be ungracious. That's ironic, isn't it? Remember the warning the Bible gives, judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall also be judged. So I say that in this bipolar world, we must be willing to hold fast to what we believe and yet respect each other and honor the positions of others gracefully. I do not mean by this that we simply agree to disagree and ignore our differences and no longer discuss them and even try to cover them because we are afraid we'll offend the other. Instead, I suggest that each one of us, without fear, be bold to express what we believe, to maintain our own convictions, except with this condition, that we do so with grace towards those who do not agree with us. And remember, it always goes both ways. So here's an example I reflect on. As a Christian, I've always believed it is most important to work 6 days and rest on the Lord's Day. And I have taken it so seriously that I have always taught my kids that it is important to go to church, to worship God, not to spend the day just like every other day, partying or going for picnics or going out to eat and so on and so forth, but to consecrate the day to God. However, I have not been careful enough with teaching my children not to be judgmental of others. I remember the days in Singapore. I would invite people over for meals both before and after the morning services so that they don't have to frequent the restaurants on Sunday because I thought that was wrong. My poor wife, she says we had 12 people at our house almost every Sunday. I don't know how she has borne with my bipolar all these years. I remember the days in Pittsburgh, people would visit and afterwards travel, and I would sit them down and I would say, hey, you teach people not to disregard the Sabbath, the Lord's Day. Why are you going off holidaying and during your vacation time thinking that's okay? Idiot that I was, being so judgmental. Yes, I was quick to judge. I was what they would call in the church world a 200%er. And I am sorry I hurt my family and my friends. We have every right to make judgments and hold them and even teach them, but it is possible, it is necessary by grace to hold those things without making unnecessary judgmental comments about others. So, for example, now, in that regard, I do not criticize those who may choose on Sunday to rest in different ways. I encourage worship in fellowship with preaching and singing and praying as top priority, but that is not the only way. Maybe I wish to go online at times. Maybe I only go to one worship service rather than two. Maybe I spend time reading and meditating and visiting the widows and those who are in need besides going to worship. I'm still very concerned about taking the Lord's Day lightheartedly because I believe that it is good for us to work 6 days and then rest spiritually on the Lord's Day. So now I connect everything for myself and I hope also for you. I believe the truth is based on the Bible. Please listen me out. You too feel very, very, very free to tell me what you believe. I'm not going to judge you either or try to fix you. If you ask me what the Bible says about a certain subject, I will share with you, but I will try not to do so with a condescending attitude towards you. I have no right to do that. I am called to believe in grace and to exercise it. Can you connect with that? I choose not to overcome evil with evil, but to treat with utmost respect and grace those who disagree with me, even those who fight with me or call me names. After all, I'm called to love God and to love my neighbor as I love myself. Connect with that, and you will be a very successful person in this PRC training. Pause, reflect, connect, my dear friends. If you like what you are hearing, please like, subscribe, and share. This is Jai Matani with 52 reflections on how to embrace, with grace, a bipolar world. Judge, but never be judgmental. Many blessings of grace. Thank you.